Welcome back to Rudy's 1/6 World for another First Thoughts video. And the first bit of breaking news tonight is coming courtesy of Hot Toys, and they just released the pre-order pics for their She-Hulk figure from the Disney Plus show. So I don't think this figure should come as much of a shock to any of us. I just couldn't imagine Hot Toys not releasing the main character from her own show, although the first figure they did tease from the show was the yellow-suited version of Daredevil. And I have to be honest, I think the figure looks great. I think the sculpt is outstanding, and there's clearly a lot of great work here, particularly with the sculpted hair. The level of detail and feelings of layering that Hot Toys is accomplishing is just impressive. And the sculpt itself looks like what we saw in the show. I mean, it's an incredible 6-scale replica of She-Hulk. Plus, she does come with movable eyes, which I think definitely benefit the figure. And as opposed to the more stoic looks that we get sometimes, she does have a bit of a smirk, which I think is subtle enough to give us a nice expression that sets her apart and gives her a little personality, but it's not so extreme that you can only pose the figure in one particular way. So I think it's a good job here, and it definitely matches her personality. As far as the rest of the figure, body's a totally new mold, and it is seamless, which works well here. And she's a taller figure, not as tall as the Hulk's, but taller, coming in at 14 inches. And one thing I did notice and I really liked are the wrist joints. There is a seam, and you can tell there's a seam, but they've done a pretty decent job hiding the peg and ball joint. So in some shots, it really does look like an almost entirely seamless arm. I do also like the suit they picked for her and the sneakers. Again, all screen accurate, but it looks to be done exceptionally well, which is not a surprise when discussing Hot Toys. Accessory wise, she is a little light, coming with interchangeable hands and a cell phone, but I'm not sure what else you could have given her. The one thing I would have liked might have been an alternate angry head sculpt. That she is a Hulk and rage is kind of their thing. So just something that I'm sure we'll get when they release her Avengers version in a few years. But there are two additional things to discuss here. The first is that full lit reveal of the Daredevil from the show, and I have to be honest, he looks great. Honestly, I love Daredevil, and I've picked up the original Hot Toys version plus all the third-party releases for alternate versions of him and other characters from that world, and here I actually really like what I'm seeing. I wasn't too crazy about the way they did the yellow on the show, but in figure form it looks incredible, and I do also appreciate that it's a very similar look to the original release from the Netflix show. So I like that continuity that Marvel's keeping here. And of course, you also had some musical cues during the episode he showed up in that do link back to that original show. Without a doubt, his episode was one of the best in the series, and I'm in for the figure if and when it goes up on pre-order. The other interesting shot is a version of Kevin Feige that looks to be from the final episode. And I do have to note, none of the descriptions indicate the figure comes with this, which is a shame because that would have been a great accessory for She-Hulk from what was a really interesting and unique finale. Maybe it's something that they'll ship with Daredevil, or maybe it's just something for the promotional shots, but I did think it could have and still might be an interesting addition to the figure. So for me, without a doubt, it's a pre-order. I love adding new Marvel characters to my collection, so this is a no-brainer. And look, I know the Disney Plus shows have met with mixed responses, and I did read the chatter around this particular show, so I know it was not one of the favorites. But I enjoyed it. Did I think it was the best show? No, but I didn't think it was the most atrocious thing I've ever seen on TV, or even bad. I thought it was pretty enjoyable. But even if it had been horrible, I still would have gotten the figure just because of the character herself. Although this does still raise the question of when and if we're going to get a Miss Marvel figure. To date, we have now gotten a figure from all of the Disney Plus shows except for Miss Marvel and Werewolf at Night. The latter, which I actually really liked, and probably more than some of the main shows. But that's just an aside. For now, I'll be happy with what we're getting, and we'll look forward to adding her to the collection. So let me know your thoughts on this figure, and if it's something you'd be interested in getting, even if you weren't a fan of the show. And as always, thanks for watching, and if you are enjoying these breaking news videos and some of the other content from my channel, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll touch base on the next video.